would just get down on your knees and thank God that you know me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Shade Squad here. Let's talk about RGTI. Let's talk about Ionq. Let's talk about the quantum stocks as a whole. I think quantum stocks right now are going to get a good opportunity this month for a dip buy at around support or at possibly the purple line, depending on the stock that we are talking about. So if we look at RGTI and we look at Ionq and the Qtum ETF, it's always important to look at the Qtum ETF because it represents the quantum sector as a whole, which for those of you newer to the channel, I always assume there's some new people. The Qtum ETF, as you can see here on the yearly time frame, or let's go to the quarterly time frame. What do you see? It just keeps going higher. Quantum sector over the long term just keeps performing and going higher and higher. If you bought this at, IPO when it came out, I mean, you could have made already, you could be up almost 500%. So it's a good long-term hold if you believe in quantum. The Qtum ETF, good long-term hold if you don't want to actually pick a stock. If you don't want to have to choose like, do I buy RGTI or do I buy QBTS or do I buy all the other ones or do I buy Ionq? If you don't want to pick and you just want to ride this wave and you believe that quantum is the future and it's you're still getting in early clearly because there's not quantum anything right now. I mean, this is just the beginning then at this point. The fact that it's already surged like this. So Qtum ETF is the way to go if you don't want to pick a particular stock. Now let's go over to RGTI. Of course, picking stocks is going to be better because you're getting stocks at cheaper prices and they can rally way more than 400%. So you can see here on the monthly time frame we're at a top, previous high here at around 16. And let's see, what month is this? September. Let's look at the previous September, see what happened. So funny enough, previous September was a red month. Let's see, September, another red month. So it's kind of funny how this works, right? September tends to be kind of weak for this stock. Yeah, so September, red month. So every September has been red for this stock, funny enough. And we're near a top, so I would just be very, 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 very careful buying up here. Especially because of the monthly time frame giving us the story that we are indeed near a top. It is within a channel here, so that's something to keep in mind. We're maybe going to come down near the bottom of that channel. Let's go to the weekly time frame and see what big picture we're getting. So consolidation phase, breakout, consolidation phase, breakout, consolidation phase, quote unquote, breakout or breakdown. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't care. Quite frankly, the daily time frame, if we look at the daily time frame, we've been trending to the upside. And not only that, the 50 EMA has been acting as support. But if you want to wait for the biggest discount possible, wait for that 200. If stocks do come down, if the quantum sector does decide to come down for the month of September, then we should see RGTI back to around 13 and under, possibly back at the purple line, which is at around 1250. Are we going to be able to get RGTI back under 10? I'm doubtful unless we go into another bear market, like a second one. For some reason, like we already had one at the beginning of the year, and now we're going to get another one. So unless that happens, we're not going to see 10 and under anymore. So I know some of you are disappointed at hearing that. Like, what? Come on, Shades, I want it under 10 again. Yeah, the opportunity was back then. Not now and not anymore, unfortunately. So let's see. The best thing is purple line. Purple line. Wait for the purple line. Let's see if we come down that low. Because if we look at the Qtum ETF again, and I'm pretty sure because they follow one another, since RGTI and Ionq are holdings of Qtum ETF. Let's go to the monthly time frame. You can see here August, September. It just tends to be weak, right? September, it's just a week. Look at the sideways action here for August and September. So you can see like Qtum as a whole for those 2 months is just kind of like So that also means if we're going to have a red month for quantum sector, then we're going to buy the dip probably towards the end of the month, right? Because you would hate to buy right now and then it just continues to tank for the rest of the month. So you would want to buy like October 1st and then, ride it up back to highs at this point. Because we know quantum sector as a whole is riding higher, right? And because we know that, because we look at all this data and we don't just look at RGTI by itself, we know that inevitably it's going to go back to 20s. It's going to take time, right? It took all these months to even get to where we are right now at 15. And there's going to be pullbacks along the way, of course. We don't go straight up, although it kind of does look like that with that channel there. We're literally just going, higher. I think this stock, absolutely a buy at the purple line. If this is going to be a red month, if this is going to be a sideways month like it always has been, I would just continue to accumulate if you believe in it. I think of 21 as a magnet. It's inevitable that we're going to go there. So do what you will with that information. Seems like I'm losing my voice. Maybe I should drink some water. Let me drink some water real quick. And we'll talk about Ionq. Clearing my throat. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So Ionq loves to come to the purple line and use that support. So Ionq also going sideways, right? It's just following, it's also near a top, right? And if you look at the quarterly, it's also just climbing higher over the long term. So overall, pretty much the same set. I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong with buying Rgti or Ionq at discounts. Obviously, not here. We're looking for discounts. They're both just doing the same thing, just going sideways. I think it's inevitable that we get a big breakout. If we get a breakdown, we're gonna get that means we get a discount. That's what that means. We're gonna come down to that purple line, and that purple line, as you can see, I don't know why, but buyers showing up, right? They showed up here. So if you bought at the purple line back here at 36, it went to 43. That's quite the monies, right? So let's see if it comes down back to 36. I would load up there and rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. I don't think you should be afraid to buy quantum stocks because long term they just keep performing. So whether it's Ionq or Rgti, I'm not going to look at the other ones because then this video would be super long. I just wanted to focus mainly on Ionq and Rgti. But I mean, you can't go wrong with buying either of them. If you want to play it safer and you're looking to hold 10, 20 years, the Qtum ETF is also a great, that way you don't have to pick a particular stock. And you can just ride up the quantum hype over the long term. That's really what it is. So quantum AI robotics, that's the way to go, I think, for the next 10, 20 years. And if you still got quite some life ahead of you, right, you got quite the money to make, right? Let me put it this way. For every $100 you put into Qtum ETF and you're willing to hold for 10, 20 years, you're going to 10x that. But obviously, nobody wants to 10x their money over the course of 10, 20 years. People want to 10x every day, right? Because they want to get rich quick now, not have to work now. So that's just, people always forget the long term because they're so focused on the short term and getting rich quick. So I think long term, great investment, whether it's Ionq, Rgti, or Qtum ETF. We'll come back to this video in the future and we're all going to be like, oh my God, how did you know? And I'm going to be like, it's not that I knew, it's just that it just seems inevitable, right? That's where we're headed. Technology continues to improve. And that also means that there's going to be new tech and the legacy of solutions will die off and the cycles repeat, right? So that's just based off of that alone. My theory is if we had PlayStation 1 back then and now we're at PlayStation 5 and there's going to be a PlayStation 6, clearly there's a pattern where we just keep getting better technology. And obviously you never want to buy the Gen 1st of anything. So don't buy the Gen 1st of the humanoid robot. Wait for like Gen 5 and you'll probably have something, a superior product at that point. You probably never want to be the first of anything, to buy anything. So unless it's Silksong, which I think I did. I need to open up Steam and buy it. But anyways, Ionq, Rgti, give it a buy at the purple line. We know these 2 months, August and September, tend to be weak, sideways, or just they go down to the purple line. Buy, accumulate. Don't try to time bottoms. Just accumulate at these levels and hold for Rgti. Hold for 21. Ionq hold for 50 plus. If you're gonna buy calls, highly recommend definitely buying some time. I got too many people, they buy calls and they don't buy time. They buy like 1 month out to calls, and I'm like, oh boy. If you don't know this monthly data, you might get screwed because a month might go by and you might make absolutely nothing. Because we know these months tend to be sideways or downside. So based off of the monthly data, you should definitely buy time. Buy like 3 months out at least. But I would recommend a year out and a half. Just have that, better than have that time on your side than to be sitting there like, oh man, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. My calls are about to expire. I hope it moves. Buy the time. It's well worth it. That's it for the video. Don't click off just yet, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about this year's bonus play with Netflix stock. If you want to learn more about this play, check out the video in the description below. There will be a link and you can see the potential for 25 to 50% on this bonus play. So Netflix stock, just a real quick rundown. Trends on the yearly for the past 13 years. It's only had 2 red years and 11 green years. Let that sink in. Again, check it out. Great bonus play. Now let's move on to the next part of the video. That's it for this episode of the Stock Market Show. Patreon.com/ShadesandTrades if you want to join the private Discord for trade alerts. As you can see here, Shane, cool, thanks man. I made over 50%. I'm really excited. I really appreciate your work. I did take profit. I love this. Jeff, advice on when to buy and sell makes the difference of thousands of dollars. $50 a month is well worth it. Virgilus, Shades Houstings, sitting on 1,600 shares of Sound, up 21%. Shall I keep holding? So again, patreon.com/ShadesandTrades for trade alerts. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys. Take my chance. Risk is managed. I let it dance. If it breaks below, I cut it clean. No room for hope. I trade like a machine.